Can we do this together? You can see my hands moving. I don't know why this camera is so freaking clear. You can see my computer is running offline right now. I am just doing the video. Look how you can see the clarity in my hands, but that's not me. I'm only 18. See that nice? You can even see the stitching. Stitching, see that finger? See that finger? How can I show you that finger? Look at it. Look at the front of it. Chopped it off. Chopped it right off there. This one too. See the two of them? They'd be a matching pair. They look like two monkeys. The rest of them are okay, but I chopped them all also. But don't worry about it. You can see into my house. I can see clearly now. But I'm going to show you Nibiru. Look at that. Nibiru. Right there. I started to do, this is that not a ginseng, it's a ginkgo biloba extract. Oh, the door. What do you see in there? There's my window, number one. There's the door. Hola. Give me a little color. Give me a little color. This I'm going to have right now. I have this mostly every day. They say take two, I take one. Some days I take two, some days I take one. Sometimes I'll take two for 3 days, then one on the fourth day. Then I won't take anything on the fifth day, or one on the fifth day, the fourth day, and the sixth day. And I'll just mix it up in that fashion. I mean, if someone's going to do any science work on myself, can I begin myself? Do I need a warning label? Excuse me, Ronald. Can you move over? We got to tell you how to treat yourself. But what if I don't learn on my own? Then the minute I feel I should torque towards another way, I will. Wouldn't that be the art of who you are, of what you can and cannot do? How much you can actually intake and what you can eat and what you can eat? We make our own diets, therefore we're taking care of ourselves. No one's telling us about the 2 cases of beer. No one's speaking to us about cherry Coke. They say that cherry Coke is the reason Target stores went down. Well, if they're on Target, that means they're on time. You know what I'm saying? The red sun. All day long. Usually I want to come home and write something down. I didn't feel like writing anything down. I really didn't take a pen with me today, and my hands were dirty. The same word was in my mind. Not only is the same word in my mind, but 2 days ago I said I was going to tell you something about my dream. My dream happened to be about Lovejoy. But the difference about this dream and the other dream that I had about Lovejoy or anything else is that it particularly went to tell me about L for love, Y for the last letter of joy, saying the two words are they're linked together. I just need the first and last letter and how many letters in between. LOVE 4, JOY, DC 3/4 of, everybody gets one letter. The center one gets E and A, and that's the way we begin. Why? Because it's area E where they play, and the area E where they play is A because it's the passage between the two sides of 2 above and 2 below. 2 above and 2 below in Celsius is 2 and 2 is 4 plus 32 equals to 36. Minus 0.4 is 35.6. 35, 56, 63, 65. Communication of the wolf, 2 moons of the 7th gate, which brings on the warning, because those are the numerological counts and numbers we need for wolf. 56. We did not do the moon, but the opposite of the moon would be the earth, because the moon is the earth and the earth is the moon. 5 and 3, in which the center of both 3 and 5 gets 2 and 4 of what it brings to us 2 and our 2 to the surrounding 2 on the outside. We don't need these 2. These are our 2 incoming. We get 2 on the outside because we already have this incoming, this 2, and we need on the outside. The wings, 3 and 7 inside of Lo Shu, 4 and 6 Zion Israel inside the house we live. Warning. So I was telling you about Lovejoy, and the reason for that, L and Y, because Y stands for 2. You cannot have the first Y without the second Y, because of the house we live is said in one letter. It's E and Z. Just like there's other alphabets that you will see will end on number 24, plus the one it began, 24 towards 1, and 1 towards 24, because you must begin in the game, equals to 25, 25, 50. 2 and 5 is the letter Y, and we'll say once you're in the game, it's an automatic 6, 3, and 3, and 3, 9 innings. We're not talking about the 7th inning stretch, because that's when the warning comes in. The warning comes in is the word I had all day today. Now I want to take this camera and put it against my paper, but I'm looking into the camera and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I see me. Now I can learn. There I am. I don't like that face. Reboot. You take what it is. You get the feeling. Here's what we're going to do. War, raw. R is a letter. In French, it's ER. EAR, bringing in the French and the English, means I'm listening, because it's EAR, ear. It means to wear down or to wear. To wear the what? The 9. The 9, the gate. War, N, N, G. War, N, N, G, because the sound of the N, which is part of the moon, because it carries the E family with the E before the N. The N is the 14th letter. Removing the E that is before it, it actually says 9. So this would be number 1, 14th letter, 1 and 4 actually standing for your DNA, saying 9. 9 would be I, and this could be, we're not going to talk about Rin Tin Tin, we're going to say the one who wears the crown, because it's a ren. This is the fox. Okay, running head or running bear, this becomes the fox, because in French, ren, or the one who runs. Okay, when we get down to this, the one who wears the crown who runs, war in, 9, the 9th gate, war in G, G is the 9th gate, there's a war in G. Creation in the E world sideways, okay? Everything keeps going like this when you have to. I don't know exactly what the actual rules are and regulations to this yet. I have to build on it works, it doesn't work. I should, I shouldn't. Left, right. I don't know. How many chances do I have? Forever. And the more people who try it together, somebody finds it, doesn't matter. We share one person, and it's like hot fire. We all seem to know. Another thing I want to mention in warning, or warn in the 9th gate, is 9 and 7 is the AC energy. It's Rothschild. Those are the two numbers of Rothschild, 7 and 9. They own the 9th gate and they own the birth. There's nothing more. 9 and 7 is 16. They own the light within the birth, because they distort the light. 56, 30, ING, creation becomes 36. 56, 28 man. Of the 28 days of the moon, this is man calling to the wolf. It's 4, 5, and 6, but 4 plays inside 5, and 5 plays with 6. The minute you take the 6 dice and turn it sideways to 5 or straight to 5, there's 4 ways to put this dice. Okay? You can stand it on its head. But I think that's the one that's inside of you, right? Now, you have the 5. If you take the 5 over here, okay, and you put it in with the 6, we'll just take the 6 and we'll put it this way. See the way the angles go out, right? The way we have to understand our stars. How many angles do you want to put? Do you want it to look like the base of the Statue of Liberty? Have you ever seen the base of the Statue of Liberty? It looks like a happy face, but not a happy face. It's a grinning face, like going, I'm going to give you as much as you want, but you will falter. All you will go for is the need of the greed and nothing else. You'll forget to check the food you eat. You'll be an animal in the forest. Every time you go out, you go to the shopping center, you grab a bag. It says whole wheat on it. You bring it home. You're not feeling well. What's going on? We offer you thousands of dollars every single year to come down for science projects. You'll take these pills for weeks. We're testing. But what is the reality of the testing? We don't ask all these questions because everybody goes overboard with the money. Imagine if you had everything you needed. How much would the money talk? And it would talk so much that you would be buying boats and houses, and eventually you couldn't even stand up because you built prisons around yourself. Just like the gentleman said, what was the gentleman's name? Let me catch this up over here. Sean, with Thor. But Thor, I'll have order in the court. That's the hammer, right? Now the hammer will link to the sickle, which is the icicle. Now, isn't it funny that when it's freezing cold outside, that your nose runs when it shouldn't be running at all? So what your nose is the sinkle or the sickle, okay? Or the popsicle. You tell me what kind of deep brain freeze you actually are in or we are going into because of what we buy that we do not understand the science of it and what it does to us, and we can't understand the distortion because everything seems so real. I have a bellyache. You do? There's got to be a reason. Of course. The machine broke. Why did it break? Well, you have a bellyache. If every single one of your parts was running perfect, you couldn't get a bellyache. It would be impossible. I like to listen to George Carlin, Fresca, Cinci. I like to look at that Sudoku board that I was sent by someone else. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. And Sean. And the way, you know, when we do what do you call it? Am I using up too much of your time? Does it look like I'm stoned or anything? Or had a couple of drinks? But I do have a little sake on the stove. It's Friday. I came out of 5 or 6 hours in the cold. You know what? Because I didn't have to, and I wanted to, and I wanted to do my best while I was outside. It didn't matter. I felt great, and I still do. I feel like I did something that I'm honoring myself right now. Hold the horses. All in stride as it went out during the day is the same way you can only repay yourself. Because if you go overboard, you might always want to get to that area, but why go there? If it's a dangerous area, it's like saying, I'm going to drink 3 bottles of beer today. Like, that would be crazy. It would be crazy. Last year, I think there were only 9 days that I had more than 2 bottles. And there was over 200 days that I didn't have anything at all. Nothing de nada. Okay? And before last year, the year before last year, I think I drank 10 beers the whole year. And maybe 2 bottles of sake. But anyways, Thor. The hammer, the sickle, the knowledge, he who renders the judgment, and the lawyers and the police who are owned, and how are they? Can I tell you something? I think if you're going to be a policeman in the court, somehow you can never really take anybody's side, right? But it's not true. Because they lock you up and they unlock you. They're against you to begin with. They're only listening to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? There's only one judge. I don't like I made it too hot. A deep freeze? How about the polar ice or police? Is it the hammer or Maharaja of the dream that's knocking you in, hello, the wrong vibration? How much do you actually need before this is bothersome? Hammer. I'm hammered. Hammer, H-A-M-M-A-H, this stands for the hands of Abraham and the hand of God. Because when you add up, 8 plus 1 is 9, and 13 equals 22. BB, this is the hand of God, the one who owns the 2 sides. Abraham, 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 is 8. Both sides, he is in between as judgment. This is the mother. Mother receives judgment. The dream world. Can I be on the edge or judge? I am a judge. Thor stands here. We will incarcerate 300 million people to find one killer. On the way, we will kill anybody in our way. Camels, 2 bumps. They wear both sides. They're on the evil side and the good side. There's water on both sides. They both flew. Back where lumps. Criminals, and the enemy is amongst us. Don't worry, stay home, 300 million people. Your children will keep you home, and if you don't come out, your children will be obligated to go against you because of the judgment of one hammer. Us, the population. war, in 9, creation. If we take this for the letter W and in the family, okay, of you, you would call this letter over here having no name at all. Because W says double is its actual name. Double of what? Double of you, but it's not its own letter. It doesn't exist. It's two letters that come together. If we take W in the U family, we take 21 minus 23 equals to the value of 2, which is the same thing value as the B letter. If we take this 21 plus 23 is 44. That is the value of all space, the space of creation where the angel resident can partake. R and AR, saying I am A before R. I am R as in the sound. 1 equal 18 is 17. The R becomes the queen. We wear the queen's hat inside the R. The N is the passage. It is the corner, the four corners of, 2 above and 2 below, just to reflect the same, I'm presuming the same image as the spirit that comes in, whether it's the air we breathe, but we get our information from a secondary system somewhere. 512 memory, 256s, 2 wolves, okay, 2 wolves, 2 moons, okay, howl at the moon, 2 moons, 56, 28, 28, 56, in which 5 will exist with 6, well, 4 is existing in 5, and once that happens, okay, this is what happens. Below and above, that's where your 2 is missing. Take a look at the 5 card. Take a look. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 2 at the top, 1 in the center, 2 upside down, 5, 2, 1, 2. 10, 10, 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, it's a Fahrenheit Celsius weather thing. The elements, all the elements in the world, which I haven't even touched. The only way I will touch, and where I just did start, is the 512 memory. That's what began all this. What's surrounding the 512 is actually 4, which would be 4 by 5 is 20. Okay, and 4 by 12 is 48. So it says space within 2 worlds of 10, left and right. Or it's actually left, and it could be just center if you really want, because center owns the other side. Are you following me with those, with the numbers and the letters? The N is the 14th letter, but it's in the E family. Take away 5 from 14 is 9, added it's 19. 919 is the warning. The warning of 919 is 28, which goes right away to the moon. So is the warning within our minds? Right now, they're doing commercials on TV for the mentally disturbed, for the distorted ones. They're not distorted. You distorted because you don't know where they are. There's no mentally really deranged, handicapped people like me around. Bipolar, whatever it is. It's because we don't understand, so we get, what do you want to call it, that we get panic. So panically that we put our minds in an area that it cannot live. And because nobody knows exactly what it is, they keep pumping us pills. They'll say, don't worry, relax, don't think about it. Why shouldn't we think about it? It's there for a reason. You need to understand it. Correct the problem, or the problem will become again, even if the actuality of whatever is going on goes extinct, that it should ever come again in history, and it should be revived. You should know all the angles to make all corrections before you dismay anything at all. That's weird. Why am I talking like this? I had a puff of Mary Jane. I shouldn't be like this. Well, I must be dumb then, because Mary Jane makes you dumb. I like being dumb like this. It's pretty cool for me. I'm having a good time. I am. So we're going to go back here to warning, where N, G is the 7th letter, so I do not do anything with it. But how do we get to G? Do we go 313 on the dice cube showing 3 sides? Do we go to the 7 card, in which the 7 card is inside the 8 card, in which they overlaid one card to another card, like another reflection inside spirit, bringing one more birth, sending the same birth between the 2 sides. 45 equals to 9, equals to 20, equals to 9, equals the IT system. Duplication of whatever spirit, because we are electronic. However you want to talk, if I have neurons and all these things are firing up, and I had a straw house, and I had a match a matchstick house, and all of a sudden I got a furnace in my brain, and I'm boiling the water, and it's pumping in my blood, and I'm able to stay alive, and oh my God, I can eat, and eat, and eat, and eat, and eat, and eat, and I got fire pumping in and out of one end, but I'm alive. As long as I let it out one end, because if you don't let it out the other end, man, when she backs up, you croak anyways. Or you fart, one of the two. Immortal, does it mean more of a tail between two sides? Or does it say, God I am your God, I'm God, the God of Mort. Mortimer, Mort in French is dead. This says gold, this says love. This here says the golden sun. Why? Because of the 13 ball in pull, also brings out the 5 ball in pull. It says me, I am the 13th sun. The AC energy that connects to Rothschild's energy that they connected up in creation of 3-6. 3, 6, and 2, 4. How do I know? Plus 6, minus 6. Plus 5, minus 5. Well, what's the difference? Once you're going 5, you may as well go 6. You go to 4, you're going to the other side. You don't control the other side. You read the numbers. And you split the numbers up equally. And you abide that both worlds can see the same numbers in different ways. It doesn't matter. As long as the number vibration matches. 3 and 15 is 18. 3 minus 15 is 12. So that stands between the left and right, between 12 o'clock and 2400 hours. 1 and 2 is 3. 2 and 4 is 6. 36 creation. 12 o'clock. 45 degrees later, or 9 or 29. Plus 9 is 38. This is the cap of the church. Why don't we just actually do it this way? This is one corner of two sides of the pyramid. You put one pyramid here, one pyramid here, one pyramid here, one pyramid here. No. You stretch this one out all the way to here. Put one here, one here. You only put 3 because you need the entail. You cannot take up, it's like saying, okay, I own this. In order for all of Earth to live, this is my space. I have to go from here to there. You can't interfere with my space. You can't take my space. So right away, boom, my space is gone. My in space and my out space. If it goes into man and it comes into the earth, it comes back to me, 2 positions are gone. So instead of 9, you got 7. Now, my space to live. The area I want, the center of the heart of everything, the 5 space is where I live. So you take off 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. You've got a bottom 4 and a top 4 and 1 in the heart. You've got 9. You've got 9. We do have 9. There's 9 to a face. Okay? In the 6 dice, we're not counting this one or this one. In the 6 dice, we're not counting this one or this one. Either you're not counting 9 and 1 or 3 and 7. Those are the wings, the empty space of the wings. Or we're not counting 2 and 8, which is time heaven, which would be now the moon, okay, or of Zion, Israel. Now, try to understand, what does it mean? We are connected to something. There is an energy that goes through us. I don't feel good today. My tail is curly. I think it's going to snow. This is how things work, okay? This is how it works. It's not me. It's Tesla. It's not me. Blame it on Washington. It's not me. Blame it on Lincoln. It's not me. Ask Grover Cleveland. It's not me. But maybe one day we will be able to ask JFK. He could be on his way back, you know. If the true earth from the old ancient times said people live till 200-300 years old, well, guess what? JFK is 120 or 130 years old, and he left this world, but he never left the original world he was from. He knew about the system, he was part of the system, and probably because apparently they have a hotel chain. So he's got to be put up somewhere. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. I did start with something really early, and that was about Lovejoy, which comes up at the beginning of February, and it was about the initials L and Y. L and Y. 12 and 25 is 37. 12 and 27 is 39. Center and right is what's coming. Everything is aligned with numbers so freaking perfectly. And I can disalign them, because if I can't disalign them, then maybe they're not aligned at all. Unless I really know the difference and just not tell you the story. Believe me, I know. I really do. I know exactly what I'm talking about. You're so full of shit. What? I know exactly what I'm talking about. You're so full of shit. I'm doing my best. Well, that's not good enough. And that's why I do, regardless of what it is, I just do the do. Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Again, warning. Warning and a small count. 2, 1, 8 equals 11. 9 is 20. 29 and 5 is 34. And 7 is 41. Let me tell you one thing. 41 is everything. Do you see this over here? It's 41. It's 8. Don't forget 8 over here, right? It's here to here is 41. Don't count the first one because it counts the center, right? Don't count the second one. Don't count 2 here. Don't count 2 here. That's 41. Don't count 2 here. Don't count 2 here. That's 41. There's only so far you can go between here and here, and I don't know how it works in electricity if we have any more jigama things coming up over there. So let me go. We did the whole thing now. 9 and 7 is 16. Okay, 16, not 5, 9. You see, 14th letter becomes the 9th letter. That is your DNA. Now, if you want to go to the time periods, 9 a.m. and 14 minutes, which would be 9 times 6 is 540, is 554, and that's it. That's the IT world of the sun. Immortality, all these words, and putting the WARN on top of each other. Whoa. You want to see what that does? Let's take a look at what this does. We're going to take out a marker because it'll go a little faster. And over here, we get that. And over here, do we really have to see anything more than 44 in this corner? Do we have to see anything else? Let's see what else we can actually find. Have you ever seen this thing before? See the angle of the shape? See the shape of this angle? We have the same thing that comes over here. At the same time, we have the small k. You see the small k? The k that comes out over here and the k that comes over here. So when W goes over N, we end up with the small k. Now we can understand that this one here is actually a C. Can I show you? This one is actually a C, but it's going up. You see the angle it goes up? It takes this angle, it goes up. Now this shape over here, I will do this one time. You see on the floor, that design on the floor? Okay, it does it on the top left. You'll see a shape just like that. Okay, that's talking about Mary Jane. Okay, you know the hallucinations we get? Remember what I said about the people that are ADHD, schizophrenic? Do you know how this all began for me? Besides having crazy dreams and numbers and going and freaking out for no reason at all because it was just a space of stuff and they were showing me numbers and letters and words and I couldn't make it out and I was crying in my mother's arms 3, 4, 5, 6 times over a period of time. I don't know, I fear I was about 11 years old at the time when they first started. And then I was scared, so scared, oh my God, death, death, death. But everybody's talking about living in God and living in God and death, death. And I said, what's after that? You mean I'm going to live 60 years, big deal, and no one will ever know my story? But what do they need to know my story for? But I'll be gone forever and ever and nothing will ever happen again and again. And it freaked me out for years and I couldn't tell anybody. And I used to go to the hospital being depressed. But I wasn't really depressed like depressed people because I know what depression is all about now. It happened to me. Ever since they gave me those pills, I think everything happened to me. I've had more delusions since I started the pills. Oh, well, don't worry, Mr. Ronald. That's only because it only began in you. But the pills are actually helping you. But it's worsening you because of the way you think now, because of the way they made you think, because they don't know any better other than a guess and a hope. A guess and a hope because now we exalt what we think and the more positiveness that there is out there that we feel that we have received, and that's what we all want in a way. Well, not all, but me, self-satisfaction, and it comes from you and your mind, your 512 256 memory of the divided two sides. 512 256, no 3 4 in any of the two equations. 3 by 4 is 12 because we are 912s. We are the birth, living in the 8th, through the 7th gate of Alpha Beta. Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. 9 times 8 is 72. Times 2 is 144. And that is times 10. And that is your day. 414 is your birth and DNA, and that is one of the vibrations. Thank you to Zach Colville, or was it Scott Path? But Path you all, and thank you, Sean. And I'm going to learn all these things. The minute somebody says something to me, just keep telling me things, because you're my memory right now. If you say, have you ever studied this, or you ever looked at this? I mean, I'm going to look at it. I'm definitely going to look at it. How much I'm going to go through this time? I mean, if I got 10 things to study, it can take 6 years. So if I had 100 things to study, it can take 6 months. If I had 10 things to study, it can take 2 days. But as long as I know it's on the list, then that's what counts the most. Raphael 7286 on a constellation of Pegasus. This looks like KP, and it reminds me of Cincinnati. 11 and 16. The red ink is in Cincinnati. Thank you.